They're after me. Trying to stop the broadcast. They got a fire going at one of the neighbors' places. They tried to burn brush today and the wind's blowing like crazy. Well, the fire department's in the field right next to us. They can't stop us. Because this is the 1 year anniversary show. We made it. I made it. 1 year ago today. Look it up. Swamp Watch 3/12/19. You can see me have a stroke while I'm doing a live chat. Might be the first one in history on a live chat. And survived. A hemorrhagic stroke. The least common and most deadly strokes. There's a 71% chance that within 5 years of your first stroke, you'll be dead. So actually, I got 4 years now till there's a 71 chance I'm going to be dead. So you guys better appreciate me while I'm here. I feel good though. You know, I'm blessed. I've seen people who've had these strokes who, you know, and not that I'm, you know, I got by scot-free. You know, I'm blind and partially blind on my left side and lost my license and lost 50 points off my IQ. You know, I've seen people that can't walk, you know, or the whole side of their body is paralyzed. So trust me, I know how lucky I am to be here doing this. And it just reinforced in me that I'm here for a reason. You know, I mean, they didn't know if I was going to make it through the night. My kids were there at 2 in the morning in Sacramento, which is an hour and a half away from where they're at. But here we are, the Watchmen way, March 12th, 2020. Wind is blowing like crazy. I'm going to just start with this. It's funny, since the stroke, it seems, I tease my kids and tell them that I have super stroke powers now. And sometimes I honestly feel I can read people's minds. And just on the spiritual side, it's like my guardian angels are talking to me almost every day. And we had the big, to me, the biggest thing ever in my life was getting called to lead the revival of the way. And now it makes more sense, right? Why I survived. Because he had this on our agenda. And I mean our agenda because it's the Watchmen and me. Amazing. I would have, in a million years, never guessed I would be doing this. And I'm blessed to be here. I've said this, it's the hardest thing I've ever done these last 5 years, but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. And I would do it again in a heartbeat. And what we've accomplished, with the way, the Watchmen. We're going to be at 2,300 members maybe today. We were at 2,200 just a couple of days ago. This thing is starting to explode, just like God told me it would. It almost has me speechless, which, is pretty tough for me, as you guys know. Anyway, let's get on with this. Uh, oh, anyway, what I was going to say is, um, it hit me earlier today. Uh, a lot of times we hold things in, and a lot of times with people that we love, because we don't want to start an argument. This is a little bit different than what I was talking about originally in telling the truth. This is more like when something's bugging you. Somebody did something or is acting a certain way, and I see this a lot in families. And you can just see, and now even more, I can just feel the vibes, of these people getting worked up, and instead of just saying something and getting it out in the open, and usually what you find out is it's a misunderstanding. I had one just yesterday with a member who's, I saw great potential in. And so I kind of was following what she was doing, and kind of nudged her a few times, sometimes more like a push. And she and it was funny because it was all about, we talk about our focus, right? And what are the most important things? And there's nothing bigger. There's nothing bigger than the satanic pedophilia. As far as waking up the masses, that's what's going to put everybody over the edge. Now, it's going to put a lot of them probably too far over the edge. We're going to have to pull them back in. But it's exactly what we need. And I saw a talented person kind of not really having a focus. And talking about the things that we, how I am about the distractions, and seeing that happen a little bit. And anyway, up until yesterday, she actually taking the pushing very well, but it was just, I think, caught her at a bad time, and I was actually complimenting her, and she read it totally the wrong way, and kind of went off on me. I'm not going to say who it was. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it made me smile later. That number one, that she fought back. I was proud of her. That made me smile later. I was reading over their post again, and it cracked me up. But just, that's a good example. And right away I said, "Hey, whoa, slow down. I'm not on you here. I'm complimenting you." And then, she realized then, and she reread what I wrote, and she just read it wrong or something. But by me addressing it right there, we were able to understand that it was a misunderstanding. And she was fine, and I'm fine, and it's all good. So don't be afraid, because what you're going to find is you're going to feel a lot better about how you deal with people when you can do that. And it's not like you have to be a jackass about it. There's a right way to do it, and all you guys are intelligent enough to know how to do that. So don't be afraid to talk. And it doesn't have to be your relatives, friends, neighbors, whatever. Work, people from work. I see the same thing happening at work. I ran several companies and hired a lot of people and managed a lot of people, and you can see the same thing. And it would have been simple just to talk about it and work it out. Usually is. Anyway, Cuomo closes Broadway. guys, this is the flu. Anybody that doesn't understand right now that the economy is coming down, you need an IQ test more than I do. They're forcing it down. They're going to make it come down because they're going to shut it all down, just like they did in China. What I say 2 or 3 weeks ago, that it was over then, because what happened in China a month ago sealed the fate. We were at world record debt around every country. World record debt. The countries could barely service their debt, and now you shut down the second biggest economy in the world for a month, 6 weeks. It's over 6 weeks now. Shut down. And you think that it's going to be okay? I still can't believe the idiots I'm seeing in social media talking about a buying opportunity, and it's going to come back. My God. Get a grip. Listen, that is straight on cognitive dissonance, where they just can't bear to face the reality of what's staring them in the face. It's so obvious a blind man can see it. I can see it. It's happening, guys. And my God, and Litecoin is $30. You don't think God is working for the people? For his people? This is a gift from God. Anyone who hears this and doesn't take advantage of this is slapping God in the face. He couldn't do any more for you. For it to be available at this price, at this late in the game, the stock market, 2,352 points today. What's that? We've had the top 3 days in history within a week or 10 days. And you think the economy's coming back? And China's still shut down, and America's going to be shut down within a month? Martial law? Get a grip. Get prepared. Extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical, silver, and Litecoin. Those are the basics. I don't think it's going to go worst case scenario. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And I think we're going to get the best. But it's still a crapshoot because it's not here yet. I don't think anything's going to change it. But we can't take anything for granted, guys. You have to be prepared. Because there's so many other things that could happen. These earth changes we're having, which we'll get into probably a little bit more next year or later this year. I'm not even talking about them now because this is what's important, what's right in front of us. Again, I don't see anything in our future, the next 100 years, that's God's not showing me anything of imminent danger. There's nothing that's coming that we haven't seen before. Well, haven't been through similar situations. We're going to have the first ever worldwide economic collapse. It's going to be a pretty big deal. Now people are starting to figure it out. I've had people as late as last week wondering, is this ever really going to happen the way we thought it would, with the impact on the world that we thought it would? I don't think there's any question by what's happening right now. It's going to have 100 times more impact than I thought it was going to have. And I thought it was going to have a pretty big impact. The joy that we should feel living in these times far outweighs any danger we're going to face. Far outweighs. These are special times. Biblical times. I say biblical as I'm fighting with Christians about the Bible. You know, they don't get it. They just don't get it, and that's all right. They will. But there's nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. It's I couldn't write a better script, guys. And I say that, and then tomorrow something else happens, and it's even better than the day before. So nobody should be panicked about this. You know, this is a matter of being ready to receive God's gifts, because that's what God is giving us with Silver and Litecoin. Giving us control of our own futures, giving us control of His church. That's pretty big stuff. At least the revival of His church. Like I've said, I don't want anybody to misquote me. I am not a preacher. I don't want to be a pope. I'm a messenger. And I've been asked to lead the revival of God's church. Not to run God's church, to lead the revival. And the great thing about the way is, guys, there are no leaders. Everybody's the same. So there's nothing for me to gain here. I mean, there's no power here. But we're going to get the ball rolling, and we are, as Watchmen, going to, with part of the proceeds from our profits, are going to go to lay down the foundation of the way of God's church, the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago. I mean, that's the biggest day of my life. I mean, you know, when your kids are born, obviously, it's important, but and it's different, right? I mean, but amazing stuff. New York City declares state of emergency. Disneyland closes. California bans gatherings of more than 250 people. Think about that. In a state the size of California, you're going to ban anything with more than 250 people? I mean, that alone shuts everything down. Just think about that. I mean, think about the NCAA tournament canceling. Think about it's in the millions, hundreds of millions, I think, the revenue that brings into, like, New York. Gone. You don't think the economy's going to collapse? Are you kidding me? Wake up. Australia Grand Prix to be held with no one in the stands. That one you could probably get away with, right? Because you'd affect the cows or whatever. Ohio and Maryland cancel school. Spain and Italy ban short selling, and then blame Lagarde for the market collapse. Christine Lagarde, ECB, European Central Bank, another black hat, globalist, rat. Italy, now get this. Italy closes Catholic churches. Are you really? Just the Catholic churches in Italy? What have we been talking about? The rumors are, guys, that there are white hats positioned all around the world to take the swamp down, and the satanic pedophiles, child traffickers / child traffickers, child sex traffickers. This is going down. I didn't hear anything about Obama today, but the day's not over, and I'm not going to be surprised if when they take down Obama or Clinton, they're not going to announce it the day they take them down. They're going to announce it probably the next week after because it's not just these guys they're taking down, right? They're taking down a group, maybe a level, and they're going to want to get all those rounded up before they go on the news and announce it, right? And of course, it gives them a little bit more time to get assets in place. That's the other thing. We've got reports from around the country. The National Guard bases are basically ghost towns. Bases that are usually bustling with activity, with skeleton crews. We talked about this too. What does that mean? It means they're probably repositioning troops for martial law. The one in Las Vegas, just north on Highway 15, just north of Las Vegas, setting up communications. And it wasn't just like, it was like, I guess the whole base was tented. They're setting up big communications, lots of communications. What do you think that's for? What does Q say? There are no coincidences? I don't think this is a coincidence. I think it's all tied together. The virus, it's all tied in. It's a flu. And what do they say? It's still, at least yesterday, the common flu had killed more people in America than the virus had. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, and New York closed anything with over 500 people. No public events allowed if there are more than 500 people going to attend. Oh, yeah. Here's a good one. I don't know if Italy might send them back. China is sending a medical team and virus equipment to Italy. Here's one I'm not, this is not funny, but I need to talk about this. Because this doesn't happen in America, guys. Gun sales soar among Asian Americans after virus-related attacks. So people are actually attacking Asians because they either get too close to them or because they're blaming them for the virus. This has nothing to do with the Asian people. Nothing to do with the Chinese people. This is all about globalists and what they want to do and control, how they want to control the world. Where was I? Yeah, we can't do that in this country. What happened in the Second World War with the Japanese was a travesty. It was an embarrassment. Our founders were embarrassed, rolling over in their graves. This is the same kind of crap, guys. This doesn't happen in America. In America, we pull together. No matter what color you are, race, creed, whatever, we pull together and get through it. We don't attack each other. That's what they want. That's what the globalists want. That's what they've been pushing. Divide and conquer. Why do you think they've got all these groups now? In the gay, straight, whatever. It's about dividing and conquer. The more groups we have, the easier it is to split us up and splinter us. You ever watch a pack of wolves track a herd of anything? It's exactly what they do. Divide them up. You're weaker when you're alone. Don't forget that. It's what made this country great. So we can't have that crap, guys. And if you see it, you have to stand up to it. Oh, what the heck did I do? France death toll goes to 61. Spain, 86. And we're shutting down the world economy. And listen, guys, I'm not complaining that we're shutting it down. It's nothing to worry about, is what I'm trying to illustrate. This is the worldwide death toll just passed 4,600. I've said I'm starting to rethink this because I've been worried about like the EU, the people in the EU, and we've got a lot of EU members too. Surprisingly, a big amount of members in the EU. And around the world too. I'm surprised at some of the countries. Anyway, I was worried there because there's nobody more globalist than the European Union, and they're not going to fend for us. They're not going to. They've been running supplies down. You can bet your ass. Where President Trump has been building, right, getting ready for this. I think where millions could easily die with what's going to happen economically, I think this shift that's coming that I think we're in the middle of, there's definitely something going on here, guys. People are changing for the better. It's a good thing. Consciousness is being raised. Spirituality is being raised. It's exactly what we need. It's exactly why the way is going to explode, because people are going to get back to their spiritual roots. You know, when I was a kid, everybody went to church, whether you wanted to or not. As a kid, you didn't have a choice. I see why the elites didn't want the way, because they couldn't get what they wanted, because there's nothing to control, and it makes us stronger. Because instead of sitting in a building for an hour for the kids fidgeting, you're going to take your kids out and do something positive with them. You're going to help a group build a house or paint a house or do yard work. Take care of the elderly and the needy. We're going to end homelessness. We're going to end hunger, not only in America, but in the world. This is all happening, guys, and we're going to be a big part of it because of the resources that God laid in our laps. We're going to have billions, maybe, who knows, trillions maybe. The Watchmen, we're talking about thousands, maybe tens of thousands that we've reached. Some of those people are very wealthy. Who knows what fortunes they're going to amass because of what we've done. And not to mention, there's a lot of us that are going to be wealthy beyond our wildest dreams. To me, it's a tool, guys. It's a way to do good in the world. In the right hands, and that's the reason that God wanted his people to control this, the financial system, the money, this time around, because he wants something good done with it. Because in a world with the wealth that we have, the earth, the world that we have, there's no reason for anybody to be homeless or hungry. No reason. Shouldn't happen. In civilized society, it shouldn't happen. What we do to the elderly, the weak, look what we do to the mentally unfit. Turn them out on the streets, let them fend for themselves. It's disgusting that we allow it to happen. And it's over. We're ending all that. We're going to be a part of that. Think about that. The next time you start to feel sorry for yourself, think about the good we're going to do. Think about the lives we have changed, are changing every day, and we're going to change in the future. To me, the good part is just getting started. The torture is behind us because now we have people flocking to us that want the truth, that want answers, that need some comfort to understand that you don't need to be fearful. You don't need to worry about the safety of your family. Just get prepared and everything's going to be fine. It's that simple, guys. Oh, McConnell's canceling recess. He's going to remain in D.C. to work on he's going to craft virus legislation. That's what he's going to do. These are all headlines. It's hype. Building up the hype, guys. Wow. Okay. David. Yeah, shutting down baseball. David, what's up? Cousin Jackie, how you doing? Kathleen bought 24 Litecoin. Kathleen, you're a Litecoin hog. Keep it up. Tiffany, how you doing? Jeannie, hello. Gary, what's up? Yeah, Gary's supervisor's telling him that the stock market's going to come back. Yeah, keep drinking that Kool-Aid. Joan bought more Litecoin today. Good job, Joan. Carolyn, how are you? Mike bought Litecoin today. Good job, Mike. Keith, how you doing? Gary, airstrikes in Iraq, guys. No war, no invasion, no nuclear exchange. I said we're going to see scuffles in the Middle East. Nothing to worry about. Focus on red pilling and preparing. Chad, how you doing? April, hello. Susan, hello. People are always going to procrastinate. Doesn't matter what's going on. Scott, how you doing? Susan, hello. See, I see you're right. The stock market is not coming back. Kathleen wants to know what's going on with Obama. Same old. We're waiting. We'll see. Like I said, he could have gone down today, and they might not announce it for several days. So we'll see. It's coming, guys. Gary's saying in the Northeast, a lot of supermarket shelves are bare. Yeah, Jean is saying that he's been telling people for a year, and they've been laughing. Well, they're not going to laugh much longer. Tony, how you doing? Tessie, hello. Gary says Jesus won't come again till there's world peace. I think that's probably true, because I think he's coming this decade, probably later in the decade. David has us live on other sites. Good job, David. Thank you. Yeah, Obama could be. All the games have been canceled. NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey. Martial law, guys, within probably by the first week in April, if not sooner. Danielle, how you doing? Oh, by the way, guys, Danielle, anybody who's interested in the mentor program, so either people that want to be mentors or the new people who want to be mentees, get a hold of Danielle, please. We're going to try and match people up. There will be kind of a interview process for the people that want to be mentors. So just get a hold of Danielle and she'll talk to you about it. We need more people, guys. I'm on almost all day today, talking to people, and I'm not keeping up. We need more help, and it hasn't even started yet. Think what it's going to be like in a couple of weeks. Well, now Italy didn't. What Italy did was Italy put mortgages on hold. It's going to lead to forgiveness. But they have. I don't think they went that far yet. It's definitely going to come, guys. Like I said, reset. All debt gets wiped out. You're going to own your homes free and clear. I'm more sure now than I've ever been. Oh, Danielle's got some kind of cooking problems. Tiffany, hello. Yeah, the people have lost billions. There are people who have lost billions in the market, and it's not over, guys. I told 12,000. It's going to go below 12,000 points. It's at 24 something still. No spring break. Schools closed in Maryland until the 27th of March. Mike is saying 66 priests at the Vatican were arrested today. How about that? Mike, were you able to confirm that with anybody? That's huge, guys. If they're arresting 66 at the Vatican, that's huge. Okay. Angela's saying there are a few non-denominational churches that are wide awake and know exactly what's going on. Yeah, I don't dispute that. But in general, God is not happy with churches. The whole concept of church, the way we have it today, it's not that they're not trying to do good. It's they're misguided because it's not what God wants. God wants the way. And with the way, you don't sit in church for an hour. You don't sit in a building. There are no buildings. We meet in each other's homes if we meet at all. We're mostly meeting in the streets doing good. It's a whole different philosophy on how you, it's about how you live your life. That's the whole point. Living your life in the service of others. I was raised Catholic, went to parochial school, was an altar boy. On one hand, can I name the number of Catholics I know who really lived their life in the service of others? And a lot of it had to do with the thought process of what was expected from your religion. They didn't expect much. They didn't want much except to control us. We're talking about a whole different way of looking at religion, a whole different concept. We're raising the bar. It's not good enough to sit on your ass for an hour a week. That's not what God wants. If it pisses you off, I'm sorry. That's what he's told me. That's what he's shown me. He's not happy how we use the Bible. The Bible is a book of comfort. It's not a weapon. By a disgustingly large number, I see Christians using the Bible to beat their fellow Christians with. Way more often than I see them using it how it was intended. This whole thing, we're not judges, guys. I know there are, and here's the whole problem, there are passages in the Bible that almost demand that you judge someone who's doing wrong in God's eyes. What I'm telling you is, think again. We are not judges. God does not, that's God's job. Our job is not to judge. Our job is to help. I don't question that there are Christians trying to do good. I question their methods. Even in the good churches. If you're sitting in church and that's all you do, that's the extent of what you call being a Christian, that's not what God wants. The way is you live it every day. You tell the truth every time. You do the right thing every time. You live your life in the service of others. When we're out that hour or two a week. We're building a house. We're putting on a roof. We're doing yard work. We're ending hunger. When was the last time? I never saw it in the Catholic Church. Never. This is different, guys. The world's going to be different because of it. Because we're going to finally understand what God wants. Not what somebody tells us God wants. What God wants. Can't believe how many people who can't tell me the origins of the Bible, don't have a clue where it came from, and trying to tell me I'm wrong. These words came directly from God. And you're going to believe a passage in a book that was controlled by a globalist, somebody who could be considered possibly the equivalent of a Hitler, over what God told me directly. It makes absolutely no sense to me. God wants us to use our critical thinking skills. God wants us to use discernment, to question everything. Question me. Give it 6 months and look at my track record for the last 5 years of the things I've been saying. Everything I've been saying is coming true. Everything. The timing's off. Yeah, no question. I had to be early. You can't be late. You can't. You got to be early. And I made that choice. Because how else is it going to work? You've got to get people motivated. And we're seeing what happens when they are motivated. They can do this stuff. They can do what they're supposed to do. We need to start thinking outside the box. We truly have been living in a matrix. I don't know if it's like the movie. I don't think it is, but it's certainly, they have tried to box us in mentally. That's been part of their agenda from at least the last couple hundred years. That's what religion was all about. Religion was never created for our benefit. It was created by the elites to control us. To give another power over us. They already have the law, right? The government. This gives them another power over us. It's textbook. Anyway, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent, but it kind of hit me because of what I've been going through the last week with these people. Use your critical thinking skills. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, there's a possibility. I think, what was, I'll tell you what they were going to plan. or what they were going to do. There was something in the works where they were going to use some CGI, and they've got some amazing technology, guys. Like stuff you'll see that you'll swear is real, and it's not. It was going to be something to. There was talks about second coming, right? They were going to show God coming back, and then basically leading us astray with that facade. I think President Trump they might not even be able to use it because he might be so far ahead of them. It's already over. They can't. They won't be able to use it. We can't, especially right now. There's no question we have to be wary of false prophets, of people trying to lead us astray. But that's why the way is so perfect, because it's so pure. Anything that's even a little bit over the line is no. That's not part of the way. It's like the straight and narrow, right? It's something we're going to aspire to be. We're never going to get it perfect. We're imperfect beings. We make mistakes, but it's a whole different world when most of the world, huge majority, 90% of the world, is focused on doing good instead of the world we had before. Because remember, when the swamp comes down and these pedophiles are eradicated, 90% of the evil of the world is going to be removed. Removed, either executed or locked up for the rest of their lives, never to see light again. At the same time, the way is taking off, and people are living their lives, aspiring to live their lives in the service of others. Can you see a difference in the world we're going to have? And it's not going to come about by sitting in a building. It's going to come about by changing the way we live our lives. By maybe one day a week, we donate to being on that crew or being a mentor to a kid. Whatever the case may be, whatever your passion is, there's going to be a place for it here. Because we've gotten way off a track, guys. Our country, our spirituality, it's time to get centered again. You know, it's time to get back on our track. Not what they're trying to make us do, but back on what God wants, not the globalist. And that's the problem. You know, they tempt us with, you know, their money and their power. You know what's going to get them? It's going to get them. They're not going to be happy. Because they got conned. They got conned by the devil. I mean, what do you think? I mean, can you imagine torturing and murdering a child? Hundreds of hours of video, guys. It's coming. This is ending. We're headed into man's greatest age, man's greatest accomplishment, greatest transfer of wealth in human history, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. Heaven on earth. It doesn't get any better, guys. Yeah, the sooner that's exactly Corey is saying, thank God it's happening. The kids, that's what happened last year. I was so worked up about getting this done that it just built up inside me. I didn't even realize what was happening. I was in the hospital. Scott saying it's exactly what he's seeing. I think he's talking about the same thing. No toilet paper at the stores in Waco. Thank you, Lisa. Debbie, how you doing? Critical thinking is now needed. That's correct, Kathleen. Thank you for that confirmation. I appreciate it. I haven't been getting many lately. Joy, how you doing? Susan, hello. Mike, here's our guy for colloidal silver guy. Guys, Mike. Hit him up. It's like a quarter the cost of GNC. Hey, Gary says, I don't know how I concentrate with all the interruptions. Think about that. That's after a stroke. Not bad, huh? I told you, super stroke powers. Julie, how you doing? Susan, hello. Message me, Mike, after. Don't let the cat catch your tongue. Are you talking to me, Gary? Let's see. Susan, how you doing? Tessie, I said hello. The word is out. Tessie, no one cares that Obama committed bank fraud. Obama committed treason, Tessie. There's nothing, bank fraud is a drop in the bucket. Obama's going to have at least 4, 5, 6 death penalty offenses that he's going to face. So banking fraud is you're focused on the wrong thing. Get back on track. Don't fall for the distractions, guys. Linda, how you doing? Market is down, 21 something. Susan's getting, well, Susan, that's okay. Is that good and cheap? Carbon 60? It's carbon 60. So everybody, the supplement I recommend is carbon 60 in olive oil. I get the brand name is good and cheap, carbon 60 in olive oil. The last time I bought it was like $18 for a 100 ml bottle. 24 isn't bad because you can pay up to $50 for this stuff. So that's why I recommend the good and cheap. It's worked for me. But yeah, make sure, Susan, it's carbon 60 in olive oil. Rebecca, how you doing? Rita, hello. Mike's saying that Interpol arrested the basically these are the bad dudes, Jesuits probably, the Catholic Church that are probably handling the child sex trafficking would be my guess. God is the judge. Freaking out about what? What do you mean calm down? I'm calm. Won't be arrested until April 12th. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Mansfield, how you doing? Yeah, so Mike's saying that they're saying Obama on April 12th, not March 12th. Maybe I might have got it wrong, guys. Maybe I read the wrong month. I could have swore, though, it was the 12th of this month. I'm pretty sure it was. Mike saying a friend told him that Jesus' second coming happened in 1921, and what's happening now is a cleansing for the 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. I'm not sure about that. I would have thought that would have been more people talking about it. And I would have thought it would have seen the world change more. That's why I think it's happening this decade, because I see the world changing in some pretty amazing ways, and all for the better. So I don't know. I'm going to keep an open mind about that. No, Judgment Day has not come yet. Tom, how you doing? God is in control, that's for sure, guys. There's no doubt of that. Gary's saying the quality of the colloidal silver is excellent. James, how you doing? Thank you, David. Well, Tom's asking when the hammer drops. Mike was just saying they're saying April 12th for Obama. I've said better for the economy to go down first, and then Obama and Clinton. Maybe that's the way it's going to go down. Because if it is April 12th, I can guarantee you the economy's not going to last till the 12th. That's, it's a month away. It's not going to happen. It's ready to go down tonight. Jane, how you doing? Even Bix got something right besides cryptocurrencies. I'm just giving Bix a hard time. Uh-oh. What the heck happened? Okay, there we go. Technical difficulties. You like my high-tech studio? I'll show you how high-tech it is in a minute. Danielle's son blew an egg up in his face. Quite the accomplishment, Danielle. I don't know of anyone else who's ever done that. Okay, it looks like all the questions. Okay, guys, remember we talked, maybe it was last night. The more positive we are in framing this, getting prepared, red pilling, the easier it is going to be for people to take. And I'm telling you, I'm already seeing an epidemic of cognitive dissonance. It's like every person I talk to is in total denial. And it's like, look around. It's not just the stock market. You look at what's going on around the world. Nothing's going to stop this, guys. This is on. And it's all happening before the election. Again, I've said that they've got to start the arrest before the end of spring, before we get into summer. Because I think it's going to be too late. But it'll get too close to the election. It's happening. It's happening, and I think it's happening now. Listen, there's no question that the coronavirus is tied to the economic collapse, and that's tied to the takedown, the swamp takedown, which is then going to be tied, as we're seeing, to the pedophilia being exposed. Just look what's been on the last couple of weeks. It's all over it's happening, guys. So remember that. I'm gonna give you a. So here's my little studio. It's a shop basically. But here's. bitch. Steers are running wild. Okay, guys. Where the heck am I here? That's about it. Unless anybody has any last minute questions, it doesn't look like it. Be positive. Keep fighting. Keep pushing. We need to use every day. Every person matters. Greatest time to be alive in history, guys. Cherish this. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing stuff. I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% in control. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.